Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Al-Aqsa Week Series Talk. Today we have a distinguished guest from South Africa, Shaykh Ebrahim Bham. Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah and assalamu alaikum to all the viewers and listeners.
Jazakallah for joining us. I know you're on trip to England and we're taking this opportunity to talk about Aqsa Week. As you know, Aqsa Week this year is between the 24th and 31st of January 2025. This is, I think, the fifth year we're doing Aqsa Week internationally. Just want to have a recap from South Africa. What kind of events you're having for Aqsa Week in South Africa?
Well, firstly, the main purpose and focus and objective of the week is to be able to refocus and realign ourselves with regard to the third haram. And in many ways, it is a haram that despite its importance and emphasis in the Quran and Hadith, we have not been able to fulfill our obligations towards it. And in this week, there will be different programs. The Jamiatul Ulama South Africa would prepare Jummah, prepare bayans, and ask the khatibs and ask the ulama to give the talks on the Jummah to be able to speak on the importance. And we know the Jummah khutbah is perhaps the one place where people do listen to khutbahs, do listen to talks. So this would be one of the greatest. And then, of course, there will be events that will be held. One of the events that I found that was very, very beneficial the last time we did events and we did a focus in the Muslim schools. Yeah. So that created a great amount of hype. Not only was there the programs that were held, but the students got involved in interactive type of events and doing of things. So there was poems and there was drawings with regard to Masjid Al-Aqsa, and there were different types of focus on the importance and the emphasis of Masjid Al-Aqsa.
So that allows you to have children as well as adults participate in Aqsa Week. Generally, why do you think people should participate in Aqsa Week? I mean, what are the sort of benefits you think?
I think one of the most important things is, you see, with regard to Masjid Al-Aqsa, there are several things that one of the important parts with regard to Masjid Al-Aqsa, it is our link with the previous Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. Now we have to keep in mind that Islam is a continuation of all the religions of the past. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. Allah Ta'ala many places in the Holy Quran says, whatever Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has brought about Islam, it is a continuation and a reaffirmation with regard to the teachings of the previous Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. So Islam is a continuation of the religions and the basic principles of all the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. And just as Makkah is the birthplace of Islam and it is the center of our beloved Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Makkah and Medina, then Masjid Al-Aqsa is the center of the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam of the past. So one of the reasons is that there is a connection that is there between our beloved Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the previous Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam.
Alhamdulillah. Aqsa Week is also being formulated so that people start to build a love for Masjid Al-Aqsa. And it's not something you only do for that week in January, this time between 26th and 31st, but it to be a platform to hopefully become more empowered, become more knowledgeable about the issue and become more active about the Palestinians. Have you found that sort of transition in South Africa?
Well, we have. I must say that, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward your organization in the sense that it has been in the forefront in creating an awareness with regard to the importance of Masjid Al-Aqsa. Normally, when I do speak, I distribute the importance of Masjid Al-Aqsa in three ways. One is its blessedness that comes from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with regard to blessedness, I always make this point. Allah Ta'ala in the Quran says, وَرَبُّكَ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيَخْتَارُ. I create whatever I will and I choose. And Allah is the one that gives blessedness to something. Why one day is more superior to another day? Why one night is more superior to another night? Why one month is superior to another month? It comes from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why is Friday the most superior day in the week? Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen it, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the 20th juz of the Holy Quran. So in a similar manner, blessedness comes from Almighty Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Masjid Al-Aqsa blessed. And He has made mention of it in the Holy Quran. Masjid Al-Aqsa says perhaps the only masjid that has been used and taken by name in the Holy Quran, Alladhi barakna hawlahu. Not only have we made Masjid Al-Aqsa blessed, but we have made the surroundings of Masjid Al-Aqsa blessed. So just give you 1 or 2 points with regard to its blessedness in brief. And that is, first, Allah has given it blessedness, and that comes from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then together with that, the salat that is performed in Masjid Al-Aqsa is more rewarding than salat performed in any other masjid other than Masjid Al-Haram and Masjid Al-Nabawi. So Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had said 500, and one riwayat makes mention of 1,000 times more rewarding than salat performed in other masajid. Then it is also the place where Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came for Mi'raj. Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came. It was the Qibla of the Muslims for such a long period of time. And Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to Medina Munawwara for 16, 17 months. Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, performed the salat in the direction of Masjid Al-Aqsa. And there is so many. Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked by Maymuna bint Sa'd radiyallahu ta'ala anha, Ya Rasulullah, tell us about Masjid Al-Aqsa. And Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it is a place and abode of blessedness and the abode of many of the signs of Qiyamah and the aspects with regard to Qiyamah taking place in the vicinity of Masjid Al-Aqsa. So then Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was further asked, what should we do? Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, go and visit it. And if you can't go and visit it, go and send oil to be burnt in the masjid. And I think that is a very, very powerful, lesson. That even if you can't go there for reasons that are there, you can't go there financially or other reasons, at least have a relationship. Your heart should be inclined towards the Masjid Al-Aqsa. So I think one is the blessedness of the place. The only place in this world where all the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam collectively read salat at one time. Yeah. So one aspect is the blessedness. I think so the Masjid Al-Aqsa, the week gives us the opportunity to understand the blessedness, which sometimes because of our other occupations, we perhaps could be neglectful about.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. This is, as I mentioned, a very short video trying to promote Aqsa Week. What would your message be to the international community and society regarding Aqsa Week and how they should adopt it?
Yes, I think, just remember this also, just carry on with regard to it very briefly. With the other aspect with regard to Masjid Al-Aqsa is very, very amazing, is it is the land of the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam. And we regard the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam of the past, that is, they're not the messengers and the prophets of only other religions. It's our prophets. Sure. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken so glowingly, so full of praise with regard to Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and all the other, Hazrat Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَرْيَمْ إِذِ انْتَبَذَتْ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا مَكَانًا شَرْقِيًّا, when she took refuge in the Masjid Al-Aqsa, on the eastern side of Masjid Al-Aqsa. Ulama say that there is something like 70 direct and indirect references to Masjid Al-Aqsa and its surroundings in the Quran. Now, when Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to Mi'raj, there was a very amazing thing that Musnad Ahmad has said, that Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he came into Masjid Al-Aqsa, he said, I put my place and my feet on the place where the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam put their feet on. Now, our tradition, there is a great amount of emphasis that the land carries the effect, positively and negatively, with regard to what had happened there in the past. So in a negative sense, Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came to the tribe of Thamud where they were destroyed, and he told the people, hurry through here because the punishment of Allah came here. And when he came to Masjid Al-Aqsa, what did he say? Here is the place where the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam set foot, and I am putting my foot here, the very same place where the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam put their feet. So that land is a land which saw the trials, it saw the propagation of truth, it saw the ibadat, it saw the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam putting their head on the ground in submission to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, acknowledging the greatness of Almighty Allah. That land must be great to us, it must be beloved to us. And I think this is what perhaps one of the reasons that we have Al-Aqsa Week. And of course, there's a political dimension, and that political dimension should not be forgotten. That there is an aspect with regard to the self-determination of the Palestinians. There is an aspect with regard to the lack of freedom and the oppression and injustice. But together with that, there is also a spiritual dimension. And I think the Aqsa Week concentrates on the spiritual dimension and our attachment and the reason for our attachment to Masjid Al-Aqsa.
I suppose it's reviving our history and legacy.
Yes, definitely.
In a way to ensure we do not forget our background. So remembering the past makes us strong for the present, hopefully for a better future.
Definitely.
And that kind of dynamics are very, very significant. So Maulana Jazakallah, can you carry on if you want to add?
Well, I think just to say that no nation can look forward to the future with any optimism and any confidence if they do not know the history.
Absolutely.
And our history gives us identity.
Yeah.
It gives us tradition. It gives us a great amount of motivation and inspiration. And I think Aqsa Week is exceptionally important for us to revive our legacy, our tradition, our history, and our attachment to that place, which leads us right to the very inception and the origin of our faith.
Jazakallah Khan. Just to remind ourselves that Aqsa Week is between 26th of January and 31st of January 2025. In the middle of that, the reason it's that week is because in the middle of that is 27th of Rajab, the night of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. So inshallah, we send out an invitation globally to participate in Aqsa Week and revive the love of Masjid Al-Aqsa. Jazakallah Khan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.